Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on The Merchant of Venice, and we get to hear from Shylock again today in Act 1, Scene 3. Remember, he delineated acts, but not necessarily scenes. Anyway, Shylock started out the scene being approached first by Bassanio and then by Antonio, because Bassanio wanted to borrow money from Antonio so that he could take it and go woo Portia, thinking that if he can woo and then wed Portia, who is really rich, then he'd be able to pay off his debts, including the money that he owes to Antonio. But Antonio doesn't have the money on him right now to be able to lend Bassanio. All of his money is on various ships that are currently running their routes because Antonio is a merchant who lives in Venice. So Antonio has now gone to Shylock to ask for money that will eventually go to Bassanio. So Antonio and Bassanio are borrowing money from Shylock. Antonio is going to be the bondman for it. Antonio and Shylock hate each other, in large part for religious differences. Antonio is a Christian, Shylock is Jewish. But then there's also the matter of Shylock charges interest on the money that he lends, which historically may have been illegal for him to do at the time. But he, in yesterday's monologue, was telling the story of Jacob and sheep breeding from the Bible, wherein Jacob was able to manipulate what kind of sheep were bred when he made a deal with his uncle that he could have all the ones that were like spotted and that sort of thing. He just made it so that there were more spotted sheep, and then he was able to have his own flock. So Shylock feels that that's what he's doing when he lends the money. He's just making it so that more gold comes back to him than what he put out. And Antonio is like, are you serious? The story of Jacob, like, that was God's intervention. And Shylock's like, well, maybe, but still, this is how he did this, and it was smart. So you want to borrow 3,000 ducats over 3 months? And Antonio was like, are you going to lend us the money or not? And Shylock says, Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto, you have rated me about my moneys and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spet upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well then, it now appears you need my help. Go to then. You come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have moneys. You say so. You that did void your room upon my beard and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Moneys is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur should lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low and in a bondsman key, with bated breath and whispering humbleness, say this: Fair sir, you spat upon me Wednesday last, and spurned me such a day. Another time you called me dog, and for these courtesies, I'll lend you thus much moneys. So Shylock is one to hold a grudge, is what he's saying, and perhaps rightfully so. He calls up times when Antonio has spit upon him in the streets and kicked him and called him a dog and mocked him for his religious beliefs and all that sort of a thing. And he's like, this is funny. Now you're coming and you're asking me for help. The person who you kicked and spit on, you asked me for help. So I don't know if my response should be, how could one so low as myself help you? Like, because dogs don't have money, and if I'm a dog, how do I have money to lend you? Or I don't know if I should thank you for all of these niceties that you've shared with me over the years, including spitting on me and kicking me and mocking me. Should I reward that behavior by giving you money? Which is a valid point. And Antonio is like, I'm not asking for your friendship. I'm just asking for money. Lend your enemy money. If I don't pay you back, then you can get your revenge. And Shylock is like, actually, I wouldn't mind being your friend, but you've kind of made that impossible. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm not going to charge you interest as such, but if you don't pay me back the 3,000 ducats within 3 months, I'm going to take a pound of your flesh from whatever part of your body I choose. And Antonio's like, yeah, of course, bring it. And Bassanio was like, what are you, no, I'm not gonna let him hack a pound of flesh off of your body for me? Like, no, that's too high a price. And Antonio takes Bassanio aside and he's like, look. I've got all these ships and they're due back in 2 months. We have 3 months to pay them off. I'll have the money within 2 months. We can pay them off. It won't even be an issue. It's not even a thing. And Bassanio's like, this is a really bad deal. And Antonio's like, we got this. So Antonio gets back up in Shylock's face. He's like, let's go. Let's sign the papers. And Shylock is like, okay, you go to the bondsman's, have them draw up the papers so we can both sign them. I will lend you 3,000 ducats for 3 months. If you don't pay me back, I take a pound of your flesh. I will go to my house and I will get that 3,000 ducats and I will bring it and I will meet you at the bondsman's and we will make this deal. And Shylock leaves to go get the money, and Antonio and Bassanio get to exchange one more like, oh my God. And Antonio's like, no, it's fine. I'll have the money in 2 months. We have 3 to get it to him. It's fine. We come out on top in this deal. And that's the end of Act 1. So, would you do it? Would you do it if you were borrowing money and somebody wanted a pound of your flesh in return? Would you take that deal? I don't know, that's a really kind of gross would you rather. And this is one of those plays that is oftentimes called a comedy because of other stuff that happens in it, but it's these core issues, like the anti-Semitism and the arguments over religious beliefs and the ethics of taking a person's flesh in exchange for money that they owe you. It's why some people, not a lot, why some people would consider this one of the problem plays. Some people say there's only 3 problem plays. Some people say that there's 6 and they lump this in with there. So I don't know, food for thought that you might not want to think about over dinner. And or if you were going to give up a pound of flesh, what part of the body would you want to have it taken from? Maybe the rear end? I don't know. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow for a monologue that gets us back into a little bit more of the comedy of this particular play and out of the realm of mutilation. I'll see you tomorrow.